What if you could go through any situation in life without being shaken? Imagine facing criticism, challenges, and even moments of uncertainty with absolute serenity, as if nothing could truly touch your inner peace. Sounds impossible? Well, this skill can be cultivated, and the teachings of Master Shi Heng Yi reveal exactly how to do it. The great sages of Buddhism have always taught that true strength lies not in reacting, but in remaining unshaken in the face of life's storms. In this video, you'll discover 8 powerful principles of Buddhism that will transform the way you think, act, and feel. Principles that, when applied, will make nothing disturb you, because you will learn to see reality clearly and have control over your emotions. Get ready, because by the end of this video, you will have a new understanding of how to achieve true inner peace and become an unshakable person. Now tell me, are you ready for this journey? Many people believe being unshaken means being cold, indifferent, or suppressing emotions. But in reality, true calm comes from a deep understanding of the nature of life and the mind. When you act as if nothing bothers you, it doesn't mean you ignore or avoid problems. It means you've developed a state of clarity and inner balance, where the opinions of others, daily challenges, and even setbacks no longer have the power to control your emotions. In Buddhism, this wisdom comes from the ability to respond, not react. Reaction is instinctive, impulsive, and often laden with emotion. But when you respond with awareness, you maintain control over your inner peace, regardless of what's happening around you. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that true strength comes from self-mastery, not resistance. When you learn to observe your emotions without being carried away by them, you discover an inner space of serenity that nothing can disturb. Now that you understand the true meaning of being unshaken, let's explore the first principle for achieving this state of mind. First principle: acceptance is liberation. Suffering doesn't come from what happens to you, but from resisting what happens. The human mind struggles against reality, creating pain where peace could exist. Think about it. When something unexpected happens, a criticism, a disappointment, an unwanted change, what is your reaction? Often, we get upset, ask ourselves, why did this happen to me, and sink into frustration. But Buddhism teaches that accepting reality as it is brings liberation. Master Shi Heng Yi explains that acceptance doesn't mean being passive or giving up, but rather stopping the waste of energy fighting the inevitable. When we accept the present moment without resistance, we find clarity to act in the best possible way. Whenever something causes you discomfort, try a small test. Instead of immediately rejecting the situation, say to yourself internally, "Yes, this is happening. What can I learn from this?" This simple exercise completely changes how you perceive challenges. You move from being a victim to adopting a stance of observation and learning. Acceptance doesn't mean conformity. It means wisdom. The moment you accept something, you gain power over how to deal with it. Second principle: silence is power. We live in a world where everyone wants to be heard, where we react impulsively to any situation, often without reflection. But true power isn't in what you say. It's in what you choose not to say. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that silence is not weakness, but a powerful tool for self-control and wisdom. When you master the art of silence, you avoid unnecessary arguments, conserve energy, and gain mental clarity to act more effectively. How many times have you said something in the heat of the moment and then regretted it? A word spoken without awareness can create conflicts, fuel resentment, and steal your peace. Silence, on the other hand, creates space for reflection. Great Buddhist masters practice silence as a way to observe reality more deeply. Instead of reacting immediately, they wait, analyze, and choose their words with wisdom. Try this exercise. Next time you feel the urge to respond impulsively to something, whether it's a criticism, a provocation, or a negative comment, take a pause of 3 deep breaths before speaking. This simple habit can prevent unnecessary conflicts and transform the way you handle challenges. Silence is not the absence of response. It is the choice to respond at the right time, in the right way. Third principle: don't take things personally. One of the greatest sources of human suffering is taking everything personally. Criticism, rejection, misunderstandings. We often interpret these situations as direct attacks on our identity. But the truth is, almost nothing others do actually has anything to do with us. In Buddhism, there is a concept called anatta, or no self. It teaches that what people say or do is a reflection of themselves, their beliefs, emotions, and experiences, and not an absolute truth about us. Master Shi Heng Yi reminds us, if someone gives you a gift, but you don't accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The same logic applies to criticism and judgment. If you don't accept the offense, it has no power over you. Many times, we identify so much with our ego that any negative comment feels like a threat to our existence. But when we learn to detach from these opinions, we gain emotional freedom. Instead of reacting immediately to criticism, ask yourself, does this really define me? Does this opinion reflect something I need to improve? Or is it simply a reflection of the other person? When you stop taking everything personally, your mind becomes as light as a feather, and nothing can shake your inner peace. Fourth principle: control your energy. Everything around you demands your attention. The news, social media, work pressures, family expectations, everything seems to want a piece of you. But the real question is, where is your energy? Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that inner peace depends directly on where we direct our attention and how we manage our internal energy. Many people live exhausted, not because they do a lot, but because they waste their life force on situations they cannot control. Emotions play a crucial role in this process. Anger, anxiety, and frustration drain your energy, leaving your mind overloaded and your body tense. How many times, after an argument or a stressful moment, have you felt completely drained? That happens because every negative emotion consumes part of your vitality. Now, think of the wisest people you know. They rarely react impulsively. They understand that their energy is a valuable resource, and so they carefully choose where to invest it. If you want to maintain your inner peace, you need to learn to filter what deserves your response and what should simply be ignored. Whenever you feel an intense emotion, take a deep breath and allow calm to settle before acting. Ask yourself if the situation really deserves your energy, or if it's just a test of your patience. Many times, you'll realize it's not worth spending your life force on something you cannot change. True wisdom lies in knowing that not every provocation requires a response. Silence and detachment are often the greatest demonstrations of strength. When you learn to control your energy, you create an invisible shield against the chaos of the outside world. Your mind becomes clearer, your body lighter, and your peace truly unshakable. Fifth principle: everything is impermanent. Nothing in life is fixed. Everything that exists is in constant transformation. Just as the seasons change, the tides rise and fall, and the sun rises and sets, your life is also in a continuous flow. However, the biggest mistake we make is believing that things should stay exactly the same. Pain arises when we cling to what is fleeting. When something good happens, we want to hold on to it forever. When something bad arises, we believe it will never pass. But the truth is that everything, absolutely everything, is impermanent. Buddhism teaches that understanding this truth is the path to freedom. Master Shi Heng Yi invites us to observe nature as a reflection of this impermanence. No leaf stays on the tree forever. No ocean wave lasts more than a few moments. If everything in nature accepts change as part of the cycle of life, why do we resist it so much? The metaphor of the passing cloud explains this perfectly. Imagine your problems are clouds in the sky. Some are small and white. Others are large and dark. But no matter their size or intensity, they will all pass. No storm lasts forever. Similarly, the difficulties of life will also dissipate. It's just a matter of time. Accepting impermanence doesn't mean being indifferent or not valuing things. On the contrary, it means living with more awareness, appreciating each moment without attachment and without fear of change. When you understand that nothing lasts forever, you learn to deal better with loss, challenges, and even moments of happiness, because you know that everything is part of the natural flow of life. Sixth principle: simplicity is power. In a world that values excess, simplicity has become a forgotten treasure. We are constantly encouraged to want more information, more possessions, more recognition. However, the more we accumulate, the more our mind becomes overloaded. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that true power lies in the ability to simplify life. This doesn't mean giving up everything or living with the absolute minimum, but rather eliminating what is unnecessary so we can focus on what truly matters. When we simplify our thoughts, emotions, and lifestyle, we make space for inner peace. The human mind works like a glass of water. If we add mud to it, the water becomes cloudy and heavy. But if we allow the mud to settle and remove the excess, the water becomes clear and pure once again. Similarly, when we eliminate distractions and unnecessary worries, our mind becomes calmer and our path becomes lighter. This also applies to our thoughts. Most human suffering comes from overthinking. We overanalyze every situation, relive past pains, and worry about future scenarios that may never happen. But simplicity teaches us to approach life with more objectivity. Not everything needs to be complicated. Not everything requires an immediate response. Practicing simplicity means learning to say no to things that don't add value to your journey. It's allowing yourself to live in the present without carrying the weight of the past or the anxiety of the future. When your mind is light, your actions become more effective and your peace strengthens. Seventh principle: trust in the flow of life. There's a Buddhist saying, "A river never fights against the current." Yet often we find ourselves resisting change, trying to control every detail of life, and getting frustrated when things don't go as planned. The desire for absolute control is one of the main causes of anxiety, and suffering. But what if, instead of resisting, we learn to trust the natural flow of life? Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that the path to peace lies in the ability to adapt, to allow life to unfold without unnecessary struggle. Trusting the flow doesn't mean being passive or letting everything happen without effort. It means acting with intention, but without attachment to the outcome. Imagine a bamboo in the middle of a storm. It doesn't resist the wind. It doesn't break. Instead, it bends, flexible and resilient, and when the storm passes, it rises again. This is the attitude we should cultivate when facing life's challenges. If something unexpected happens, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" logically, try asking, "What can this situation teach me?" Life always moves in cycles. There will be times of growth and times of withdrawal. There will be gains and losses, but everything is part of a greater balance. When we trust this flow, we find serenity even in the most difficult situations. Eighth principle, cultivate peace within. Many people believe that peace comes from external circumstances. They think that when they get the perfect job, the ideal partner, or financial stability, they will finally find tranquility. But this is a dangerous illusion because it means placing your peace in the hands of something you can't control. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that true peace comes from within, no matter what chaos surrounds you. If your mind is calm and balanced, nothing can shake you. But if your mind is filled with conflicts, insecurities, and worries, even the calmest environment will fail to bring you serenity. Inner peace is like a fire that needs to be fed every day. It doesn't appear suddenly, but is cultivated through daily practices. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to strengthen this state of mind. Through meditation, you learn to observe your thoughts without attaching to them, like a sky that allows the clouds to pass without identifying with any of them. Another way to cultivate peace is by practicing gratitude. When you focus on what you already have, instead of what you lack, your mind shifts from a state of scarcity to one of contentment. This creates a deep sense of fulfillment, regardless of what's happening around you. In the end, peace is not something you find. It's something you become. When you realize it's already within you, you discover that no external circumstance has power over your serenity. The journey to becoming an unshakable person doesn't happen overnight. It requires practice, patience, and a daily commitment to your inner peace. But the good news is that by applying these 8 principles, you will begin to feel a profound change in the way you approach life. When you accept reality, you stop fighting against the inevitable and find freedom. By practicing conscious silence, you realize that not everything deserves a response, and that true strength often lies in not reacting. When you learn not to take things personally, you understand that what others say or do reflects far more about them than it does about you. Controlling your inner energy gives you clarity, preventing you from wasting energy on what's not worth it. Understanding that everything is impermanent teaches you that both good and bad moments will pass. So there's no reason for despair or excessive attachment. Simplicity, in turn, creates space for peace by eliminating unnecessary clutter from your mind and life. When you trust the flow of life, you stop swimming against the current and allow yourself to live more lightly. And finally, by cultivating peace within, you realize that nothing external can take away what is already rightfully yours. These teachings can completely transform the way you live. But transformation only happens when we put knowledge into practice. Choose one of these principles and start applying it in your daily life. Over time, you'll realize that nothing has power over you except your own mind. If this content resonated with you, like this video and subscribe to the channel to keep receiving transformative teachings like this one. Leave a comment telling me which of these principles impacted you the most and how you plan to apply it to your life. May your journey be guided by wisdom and peace. Remember, he who masters himself has already won the greatest battle of all.